everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Michaela. I'm a university student and today I will be telling you guys about my first year experience at UBC. I've broken this video up into 4 sections, the first being UBC overall, like campus and stuff, academics, and then dorm/residence life, and then social life. After this video, if you guys have any questions that I didn't answer, please feel free to leave them down below and I will answer them as best as I can. If there are a lot of questions, I will make another video. So yeah, let's get started. Before I get into my experience, I'm gonna be giving you guys a little bit of a background on me. I just finished my first year at UBC, specifically in the business program. So yes, sauder. Ideally, I want to major in marketing because I'm interested in like digital marketing and social media and stuff. I also went to a really small high school. My graduating class was 20 students. So going from that to like 40,000 undergrad population at UBC, I think that kind of affected my experience a little bit. Lastly, I am technically a domestic student. I do have Canadian citizenship. However, I grew up overseas in Taiwan, so that also kind of affected how I transitioned into university. But first, I'm going to be talking about UBC overall, like the campus and everything. So for me, I actually toured UBC before I went. I toured the summer before 12th grade. I really liked it. I thought it was really pretty, and because I also toured during the summer, so it was like really nice. It wasn't raining. It is really nice and it is really pretty, but just like keep in mind, if you're not from Vancouver, it's like really, it can rain a lot there. So that's just something to keep in mind if you don't like that. But it doesn't get that cold. Before I went, people were like, oh, Michaela, you're gonna like freeze because it's like Canada. But Vancouver, since it's like on the coast, it's like really not that cold, and like it snows like a few times a year, but it's not like Toronto. Aside from that, like UBC, like in the campus is in itself, it is like really big because obviously it's a giant public school. You kind of get used to it, and you do have to use Google Maps at first to like navigate where you want to go. Like it all works out, you figure out where to go, and you kind of get used to like having to like walk like 10 to 15 minutes to class. I will say Vancouver is a really nice place, but if you don't really like venturing out too far, everything that you could possibly need is basically on the UBC campus. There's like a gym, there's a beach, there's like everything. Like there's so many places to go, so many things to explore. So take advantage of that. Something that not many people mention, but I think is important, is if possible, you should utilize the rec facilities at UBC because they are really nice. I personally don't go to the gym, and you have to pay for the gym, just by the way. You don't get that for free. Instead of going to the gym, I dance, and they have studios around campus that you can use for free. So that's what I did for exercise. Part of your student fees is paying for athletics and recreation, so take advantage of that because you're paying for it. In general, there's like nature, and it's really nice and it's pretty. Also, I think UBC, like the food on campus, there's a lot of options. Dining hall aside, I'll get into that later, but like there's like cafes, there's like places to get all kinds of food. There's like Italian food, Persian food, Korean food. Me personally, if you guys want some recs, I love Blue Chip, which is a cafe in like the student union building, the Nest. Seoul Hot Dog, which is a Korean place that they have bingsu, which is actually really good, which is like shaved ice, and Mercante, which has Italian food. Yeah, that's kind of it for like UBC overall. I will now kind of get into my experience as a international student-ish because I came from abroad. I think there's a lot that can be said about this, and because I went to international school, obviously it's not completely the same to people who are coming in from like a local school in their country. There are so many international students, and you meet people from all over the world from all different backgrounds. So even if you aren't that comfortable speaking English, it is quite likely that there will be someone that can speak in your mother language. You will experience culture shock, likely, if you come from abroad. I could make another video on that too, honestly, but I think overall, like, people are nice, and you kind of just have to it's a learning experience. Something that can be helpful is if you join like the student associations, because there's like ones for like all like kind of different ethnicities and countries. A lot of things that you can join if you want to also feel connected to like back home and meet people from where you're from as well. Being an international student, even if it's hard first, it'll get better, and people are nice. So yeah, I think you guys will be fine. So now I'm gonna talk about the academics aspect of UBC. For me, I don't think it was horrible, but I think this varies person to person. I took 5 courses each term because that's the standard course load for sauder students in first year. If you have AP credits, you might take, or like IB or whatever credits, you can take less. And I can also make a separate video on this for sauder people, like course specifics. But overall, academics at UBC, I will say one thing you have to do in your academics is take electives that are not related to your program. So that's what I did. I will continue to do this because I think taking non-sauder electives is a good way to meet people from other faculties and kind of see another side of UBC that you wouldn't typically see within your faculty. UBC offers literally so many courses, so like take advantage of that, because I literally took a course about K-pop. There's courses about like anime and something about stress and strategies for well-being or whatever. Take whatever you want. One thing that people have asked me is like academic standards. I would say like I did pretty well in high school, and most people that I met and did really well in high school. When you go to UBC, you're not expected to get A's in every class, and because it's really hard to do that. Like for sauder at least, the grades kind of get curved down so that you're like around each class will be at like a 70-ish average. You could go from being like an A+ student to being like a C student, and that's like completely normal because everything in university is about trying to pass, not trying to like excel. Doing well in high school doesn't mean you're gonna do equally as well in university, and that's completely fine because university is like a time for you to just learn a lot about yourself, so you have to take those opportunities outside of just your schoolwork. And if your grades take a little bit of a toll, it's not the worst thing in the world. There's resources on campus that can help you, like there's tutoring services, like free tutoring services. Even if you're not used to like the way that your grades like fall at first, that's normal. I kind of freaked out a little. I did not amazing in math. I passed, and that's all that matters for me because math is a weeder course at UBC. Just don't be too hard on yourself, and you'll make friends and you'll have classmates that will be going through the same things as you, and help each other out, and take everything in stride and take everything as a learning experience. So yeah, now I will be talking about dorm life. So I did live on residence because I am not from Vancouver, so I kind of had to. There's a first year residence guarantee for the most part at UBC, and the main residents for first years are Totem Park, Orchard Commons, and Place Vanier. All of these residences have a dining hall, so you have to have a meal plan. There are other residences such as Itsmikaylatam or Walter Gage, which are like apartment style, so you have to cook for yourself, but it's very rare to get placed in those types of residences in first year. I lived in Totem Park in Shoe Swap House. I will link my dorm tour here now. So something that not many people know before you go to UBC is that aside from Orchard Commons, both Place Vanier and Totem Park, they have newer and older buildings. I lived in Old Totem, but overall it's not that old. Like the building itself is old, but they renovated like the bathrooms, which is arguably for me the most important part. All Totem buildings and like newer Vanier, they have like pretty nice bathrooms and like elevators and stuff. If you end up in Old Vanier, your bathrooms are not renovated and you don't have an elevator, so that's something to be mindful of as well. I personally enjoyed living in Totem. I lived in a shared double, and I found my roommate Kiana, who's been in some of my videos. I actually connected with her on Instagram, so we applied to be roommates together, which is another thing that you can do at UBC. And so because I had a roommate and we were in a shared double room, we had to use the communal bathrooms, which sound really gross to a lot of people, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. Sometimes there would be like hair, but it's okay. Another thing, there's mixed gender and single gender houses and floors. So I lived on a mixed gender floor, but it's fine, like nothing happened. It doesn't really make a difference. For my floor specifically, it was pretty chill. I wasn't super close with that many people because everyone was kind of quiet, but that varies in the different residences. The walls in every dorm room at UBC, like not just my building, the walls are paper thin, so just be careful about making noise. If your bed squeaks, you could be on like the 3rd floor. People can hear you on the 4th floor, 2nd floor, and next to you, so be mindful of that. There's also leadership opportunities in residence, so there's mostly like the dorm councils or like residence associations, so if that interests you, go for it. And another very important aspect of residence is of course the food and the dining halls. You will hear mixed opinions about the food. Honestly, it's not horrible. For me personally, I didn't think it was that bad. They do cycle through like the same things every 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes some things are weekly, but it's okay. You will likely get sick of it at some point, because I did, and most people that I know did, but it's not that bad. For the dining hall specifically, those meal plans are unlimited, and you also have like flex dollars that you can use to spend at like other food locations on campus, like Tim Hortons or like Blue Chip, like the cafe mentioned, or Subway or whatever. The best dining hall, in my opinion at least, is Totem. If you want to argue with me, fight me in the comments, I guess. I will say Vanier has some really good baked goods. You may have heard me mention their muffins in a previous video. So overall, living on residence, I think it's a pretty fun experience, and it's kind of a good way to start living on your own, not like all the responsibility at once, and it's a good way to get integrated into UBC and meet new people. Lastly, now I will be talking about my social life. So I think one of the first things that kind of surprised me at first about social life is there's like those Instagram pages for the incoming class, and you start talking to people and you DM and you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be best friends. If you're not in like a similar residence or a similar whatever, it's very unlikely that you will stay super close. That's just a fact of life. I've had it both ways. I've stayed really close with some people and like completely stopped talking to others. So, you know, just kind of keep that in mind as well. When you get to UBC though, there are so many different ways that you can get connected with different people. And I guess if you're a business student, network. UBC has like 300 plus clubs to choose from. There's also a lot of leadership opportunities, both within clubs and also like within your faculty as well. For each faculty, there is like a first year council type thing where you can like plan events for first years and also collaborate with other people and meet other students of all years. I personally was not in one of those, but I know people who were and they really enjoyed it. I joined 3 different clubs: Christian club called InterVarsity, a K-pop club called K-Wave, and then I also joined a business specific club called CUSVM, which is Commerce Undergraduate Society Visual Media. There are also faculty specific clubs like that if you kind of want to get more connected in your faculty and meet upper year students or also staff as well. And for me, all of the clubs that I joined I really liked and plan to join again as well. For me, clubs were a really good way to meet new people, especially people outside of my program. Aside from clubs, you could also get part-time jobs because there are job opportunities on campus. My friend Emily, I've mentioned her in previous videos, she actually works at Cha Time, which is a bubble tea store on campus. She's talked to me a lot about like coworkers and her bosses and how she's just developed really good friendships and relationships with them. So I know a concern of mine and of some other people is like, how do you find balance with like your high school friends? That's something I'm still working on, honestly, like especially because I am from abroad, so it's not like my friends are like in the next city over or like in the same city as me. Can be a little difficult, especially because you're getting used to such a new place. You might not stay in touch with everyone, but honestly, it's also likely that your friends are going through the same experiences as you. Obviously, it's different for everyone. It'll be fine. Like, it'll all work out. Another thing, frats or sororities, I did not join. I don't really know very many people who join a frat or sorority. The people that I do know, they really enjoy it, they're really involved, and they really like it. But for me, it just wasn't something I was interested in. The ways that I met most of my like close friends were through clubs and my classes. One thing that I kind of liked about the business program, because I don't think all faculties are like this, you are put into standardized timetables where it's like 20 to 30 people and you have all of your classes together. So you could have tiny classes together, you could have huge classes together, but that's a really good way to meet people. It is likely that a lot of them will also live in residence, so you can eat together, you can study together. I think I might have missed a couple things, but overall, that was my first year experience at UBC. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If need be, I will make a follow-up if there are questions or anything else. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye!